My idea is how do we get those people to stay more and effectively increase our demand. And the more we add in amenities, the more we add in things to do on the site, and then of course individualized experiences. Now we can win beyond just being close to Lion's Head, which is a big hiking area, being close to the grotto, also a hike and like really beautiful views. And then the tourist attractions of Tobermory,
and that's why I love it so much, because we really do attract
can cater to the different
different budgets and very different people. And what experience do you want? Do you want the high-end hotel room looking over the waterfall in the woods, or do you want? I want to get away and try this out, this cool tent, right? And you know, maybe it's a bit bold to say this, but that's also why I think it's recession-proof.
Welcome back to REI Hot Seat. Andrew Hines here with Jacob Campagnaro. It's a bright sunny day outside somehow. Lots of snow.
Looks good.
We were just remarking that we have natural light in here.
Yeah. We're both going to be totally whitewashed on the film, but
yeah, days like this, I know you can't see outside right now, but they campaign for why I don't want to be in Canada in the winter. But hey, summer, I'll come back.
Yeah.
Anyways, so today we're talking about our campground, so a very summer-oriented thing that is in Tobermory, Ontario. If you've been watching the show for a while, you would have seen the episode Zach and I did in the summer when we launched our equity raise. So Jake and I are sitting down today to talk a little bit about the planning and what we're doing for this coming year, and also just what's happening with the raise. So we did close our first tranche of funding with the raise, and we're having several more meetings with investors. And we figured, hey, why not just do an update, talk about some of the ideas? Because a lot of it, and for those of you who aren't familiar with our campground, it's near Tobermory, Ontario. It's 70 bylaw-approved sites, and we presently have 30 of those sites set up for glamping. So nice tents. Actually, if you look at my screen right here, you can see a picture of one of our tents. And these photos get people going, get people booking. We had a reel. Jake, do you remember the reel from the summer? The reel we shared in the summer, it was like a giveaway for a 2-night stay. And we had like 40,000 entries, I think. And it got over 1 million views, like 1.1 million views, that reel. Yeah. So people love the concept.
Yeah. And we have, our Instagram is growing rapidly. Yeah. I think we're up to 27,000 followers right now.
I actually
might even be closer to 30 now. So we're getting quite a good following. We have a very strong social media team that highlights the camp. It truly is beautiful, right? Like it's, I don't think I stop and say that enough. So yeah, like you said, we have 74 bylaw approved sites.
70 even.
Bylaw approved sites. And we are looking to expand into 60. Well, we're gonna for about 65 right now.
Yeah, we're gonna. Our initial plan was take it up to 60 because we're really using 30 as glamping right now. That was as of the end of this season, and we've learned more and more even through the equity raise process and some of the conversations we've had with our industry peers, just what's possible with the existing listings we have. And what it really did for us is it kind of shone a light on what we're actually not doing that well. Like, I think there's a lot we do very well, and I think we've been sort of successful in spite of some of the things we could do even better. And one of the things is that we're just a step above camping. Like, we are glamping, absolutely, but we're that step above camping where you're still using the camp bathroom. Mind you, our camp bathroom's beautiful. We lucked out on that. But you're still using the camp bathroom, but you get a nice cozy bed, queen bed, soft with a soft pillow. So it's camping light for those people who don't want to own their own gear or don't, and they just want that opportunity to be able to get out, go for an experience. But the thing that does, you don't have internet, you don't have an outlet in your tent. The thing that does is it stops people from really going for more than a couple nights.
Yes.
And our average stay was around a couple nights, unless you get a real enthusiast. Occasionally we'd have somebody stay 5 nights or something, but that was more rare.
Yeah. And the key is to get that to a 3-night, 3.5 night,
4 night. Yeah. 5 night. And how do you do that? Well, you give people things to do. And this was always part of our plan. We were talking amenities, which we're still working on. But even beyond that, just something as simple as blanketing the whole site with Wi-Fi, which we've already put the wheels in motion to do that. And that's a simple add. And then the other things that we've seen that really can make a site crush, and it might seem totally obvious, and we totally understand, hot tubs. So
hot tubs
right on individual sites.
Yep. Saunas,
centralized saunas,
even just games and activity areas, right? Like the team's been really busy doing a bunch of research into these different amenities, right? Is what we're adding here.
Yeah.
And something we were exploring is the pickleball court, the shuffleboard court, the basketball court. So there's one that would actually be all three of them. And then it just depends on what you want to play. Put up the net, grab the shuffle stuff.
And
so
convertible.
So we're working with stuff like that.
Well, right now what we're doing, we would have already pulled the trigger on, like, say, our sauna coming in, but we're actually working on partnerships with people where they might even just give us that stuff because we have that recognition. So our angle now to take things to the next level is really use the awareness we have, the brand reputation, the solid Google and Airbnb reviews, and now let's add to the experience. Let's take it from something where people were just coming to Tobermory and maybe we inspired them to. They saw our tents. They're like, hey, I've always wanted to see Tobermory. Let's go. Yeah. To now, hey, I would go just to stay there because it looks amazing. And that can be done at a site level, obviously with central amenities, which we're in the process of adding, and also on individual sites, which we're really excited about, creating little unique individual experiences. So one year somebody can come and try site number one, and then the next year they can come back and try site number two.
Well, that's it. And so there's pretty much three phases, let's call it, of our expansion plan and what we're using this capital for. The first is going to be those amenities that we spoke about, right? The next stage is going to be an elevated unit or an elevated stay. So for that, we're looking at basically hotel room on wheels is what I like to look at it as.
Yeah, a hotel room in the woods.
So you should have no compromises, full king-size bed. You should have a kitchen in there. You have a full-size shower and regular toilet, like at your home. Yeah. Right? And these are such key factors.
That's the big difference, right?
We've actually done a ton of research into this.
Yep.
And you can actually make the kitchen more of a trailer-style kitchen, but the bathroom, the toilet and the shower,
they can't be a compromise.
Is so important. Yeah. And I've spoken with 6 or 7 different glamping groups that I respect a lot, and they're doing this for many years longer than us. And they've tried the camper toilet, the composting toilet, the incinerating toilet, and it was funny because I had about an hour-long conversation with one of their chief economic officers about which toilet is going to earn you the most revenue.
Yeah, and it's the no compromises
and
normal toilet.
It's a Kohler Comfort Height oval bowl. Like I'll tell you right now,
just a regular $100. That's the funny thing. Like that is the difference. Like if you're camping on our site today, like our trailers are awesome. Like we've got several really great options, but you are still camping. Yeah. Whereas some of the models we're looking at now this isn't a camping model, and we're just in talks with a supplier to order a couple of these. This is an actual, as you said, hotel room on wheels, no compromise shower. You have a kitchenette. I believe they're queen beds. If they're kings, that's even more amazing. But you've got yourself an amazing space. Yeah. And that's going to be way more comfortable. So you're going to get way more people who aren't comfortable with camping. Now we can pull them in too. Exactly. So you can get the ones that like camping. Yeah. You're still in the woods. It's still a hotel room in the woods, which is great. But now you can get the ones that aren't comfortable. So my idea is how do we get those people to stay more and effectively increase our demand. And the more we add in amenities, the more we add in things to do on the site, and then of course individualized experiences. Now we can win beyond just being close to Lion's Head, which is a big hiking area, being close to the grotto, also a hike and like really beautiful views. And then the tourist attractions of Tobermory, like the glass bottom boat and the fish and chips and whatever else you do. So that's presently, if I had to attribute it, our location and then being a cool thing have done it for us because we're right in the middle of all of it. But now we want to take the money that we're raising and help turn us into more and more of a destination. And that's not a binary thing. It's not like you are or aren't. We can just become more and more of one over time.
Yeah. Yeah. And we have, again, with the models that we have, I mentioned the three phases here, right? So we have the amenities, the high-end accommodation, and then we have the middle end accommodation, which is our tents, right? And elevating the tents. And then we also, on top of that, we have unique stays, right? We have vintage trailer, we have Big Blue, we have the shipwreck, right? So there's actually several different accommodation classes within our camp.
Yeah.
And that's why I love it so much, because we really do attract
can cater to the different
very
kinds.
different budgets and very different people. And what experience do you want? Do you want the high-end hotel room looking over the waterfall in the woods? Or do you want, I want to get away and try this out, this cool tent, right? And you know, maybe it's a bit bold to say this, but that's also why I think it's recession-proof. That's why I'm putting my own money into this camp, right? We were just talking earlier, like I have my own dollars invested in this.
Well, we all do.
We all do. Yeah, no, for sure. But that's why I really like this thing, because there's endless possibilities of how we can increase revenue and grow our bottom line.
Yeah, and I'll repeat this for anybody who hasn't seen a previous talk that Jake and I did on this. The whole idea to do this camp in the first place came from Jake and I both loving the concept of Airbnb, but not liking how it was not scalable. Like you buy one, you put all this work into it, and you've got one that might generate, $1,000 a month if you're doing a good job over the course of the year on average.
You could even buy 10.
Yeah, but that's a lot.
Put all the money into 10, but then you have legislation that comes in without your control. That was a huge thing for me. That was a driving factor. Is I have a cottage actually in the Tobermory area that I do Airbnb.
Yeah,
and just one day they come out with a new thing, and they're like, "Hey, I want 4% of your money. I want you to pay a renewal fee every year. I want a floor plan. I want to make sure you have." And it's like, okay, great. Whereas this campground that we've purchased is designated commercial.
It's commercial, so it's outside of because all those Airbnb control bylaws are all residential. So the second, in this municipality, in my interpretation, I'm not giving legal advice, but is the second our legal description came up for this, there actually was a misinterpretation with the municipality. We had a little bit of back and forth, and I pointed out to them what their bylaw said, and the conversation went away. Because we're commercial, we serve the traveling public, we're good to go with this. And that's one of the things I love with it, because we've been able to scale, and we started with 2 tents, scaled to 7 that year. We added in trailers that year. We also, scaled up the following year. No permits were needed for any of that. It's not to say nothing we'll ever do will need permits, but there's so much we can do to expand without even a permit.
Yeah, everything's temporary.
The ability to flex and to quickly adapt and adjust is great. Obviously we've been pretty open that there was things we learned along the way. I thought we'd be profitable faster. I was like, the first year we'll make it happen. But, dealing with people, dealing with the transition of this campground, which was an anything goes campground. There's a lot of seasonal campers on there. We had to, politely ask to leave because they were $2,000 a year, which was like never going to work. And not part of our plan.
They were $2,000 a year, Andrew. I think
they were a hair under $2,000 a year.
$1,850 a year. Or
$1,850, $1,920. It's crazy stuff. And if you bought the camp for $200,000, then I guess that all works.
Or if you had 150 of those, that also works, right? Yeah. And I'm not knocking that model. I think there's great profit to be made there as well.
But in this particular location, seasonal compatible sites that are fully sewage ready, I think we have 14. And that was never going to be a viable model for us. We bought this fully thinking Airbnb. And it's been one heck of a process. We've really had to work on building teams, and we've had to learn through experience some things. We're still getting our books finalized, but I do believe we just had our first profitable year. And, minus we've been obviously investing in some things that, including this equity raise, which obviously have an impact there too. But that's all to go to the next level. That's because we see the ability to of course get more out of what we already have, but then also grow beyond that.
Yeah. No, there's so much we can do. It's unbelievable, right? And I wish I don't want to show everybody right now, but we will do a follow-up episode when we can show you what type of accommodations are coming to site, what amenities are coming to site.
We want to get the order
I'm really
in
excited
first.
to get that out to people.
Yeah, we want to get the order in first. We have a sauna we've picked. We have stuff that we've picked, but until the order isn't, we're just negotiating right now. So if these people won't play ball with, hey, we'll give it to you for half price because you're going to promote it, we'll just pay. But we might as well try that first because, hey, it leaves more money for everything else. But I do just have the map of our camp here overhead, so you can see coming in off of Highway 6 here. People will know us from the big red chair that sits out in front. It started under the name Maple Ridge Family Campground. As of the end of this past season, that's done now. We're not doing regular camping anymore. and it is purely a glamping facility. So on site, you can see we have a big pond here, and then we have all these pull-through transient trailer sites, which really kind of don't serve a purpose for us if we're doing our model that we've said with no regular transient camping. So we're actually going to be adding in amenities here. We're going to be putting gathering tents on either end, which will be for people to get together. So on rainy days, now you got something to do. Yep. You know, just everything we're thinking is how do we improve this experience?
And this is customer feedback as well, right? Like we look at all of the reviews, we speak with our customers. Hey, what's one thing we can improve on the site? And that's where we're pulling our ideas from. So these aren't just kind of, off the cuff ideas. These are researched ideas and a covered gathering area to lounge, sit, play games, just hang out. That's something that's been asked for many times.
Yeah. So, and that makes sense, right? You can make sense of that. I just pulled up our site just to show people if you've never seen our site. Our site's actually getting redone right now, but I'll just kind of show you some of the different units we have. You can see a bunch of our different tents on here. Got an Airstream. We got a modern RV. Actually, several of these are quote unquote modern RVs. One of them's just actually called that. And they're nice. They're nice stays. Like you get a really, really nice stay. The Instagram ready stuff is really your tents, and our tents do insanely well because of that. Like people do pay throughout the summer on the weekends over $200, $200 and up. But I'd love to get that to 3 and 4. Yeah. And the way to do that, obviously, like imagine that tent, but there's a hot tub behind it. Yeah. Now all of a sudden there's a different conversation. Now you've got a serious amenity there. So that's just some of the thought, and I'll go back to the map here. So over here in front of the pond, we are planning to add in our sauna right next to this deck that overlooks the pond. So you'll be able to have a nice, a session in the sauna. What do you call it?
A sweat? I don't know. Yeah.
A sweat. Yeah. You'll have a nice sweat in the sauna. And you can look at the pond and watch the ducks and what have you. And then our plan is to put a above ground container pool and seating area right here behind it on the pull through area. So that's all in the works right now. It's obviously, it's going to be a very busy off season. So we're just in the thick of it right now. And we're going to be doing much, much more. So couple of things. We're gonna talk about the investment here. So just before we do, disclaimer is everything you can see on the screen right now. I'll just say a couple of things, like the returns we're going to talk about. They can't be guaranteed. Nothing future forward looking can be guaranteed. This is basically our projections. This is our projections of what we believe will happen. For a number of reasons, I believe that our projections could be considered very conservative. However, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you what we have here. And
hopefully our listeners will, use all the skills they've picked up from all the other episodes, to understand the cap rates and and everything we're going to talk about here.
Oh, we're going to be even more simple than that. We can get into that stuff. Jake brings that up because there's obviously a very important topic to have, conversation to have, but I'll just keep it simple for now. So basically what we're listing with an exempt market dealer. Atlas One is our exempt market dealer. It's a $25,000 minimum investment, 20% annually or 110% over the 4 years is what we're projecting to be the total return. So keep in mind that 20% annual is a compounding number. So that's why it doesn't equate. You can't go 20 times 4 to get the 110. That's, assuming the money compounds, that's what an IRR does. And then we're also including a 10% preferred return that, so we've created a new class of shares that gets priority, and it gets that 10% preferred scheduled to be distributed annually. So 10% of, based on available cash flow, 10% on your investment back to you as that distribution. And then of course,
and that's cash.
That's cash.
That's coming back into your account. Yeah, that's cash, and that's paid on a
annual basis. So the caveat is after the financial statements come in, we do the review, and it's based on available cash flow. So if for some reason a year didn't go as well, it would be deferred to the next year, but that it accumulates. So in the second year, you could get 20% distributed. And on top of all this, like say we did way better than we thought, we could do additional dividends on top of that. So it really just, comes down to responding to market conditions and what happens going forward. For those of you who are interested, we've done another talk on this at, it was right here on REI Hot Seat. You can scroll back on the YouTube channel to find it, or you can go to grottoinvest.com and you can see that, as well as a webinar that we did talking about this investment. So our exempt market dealer was on there. You can see some of the different photos. We just kind of created this page, just a nice, little highlight page. And the main idea is book a call with us. I think the biggest and best thing we could do is just have a conversation. If you're watching this, you've probably got some questions about it if you're considering it. And we'd be more than happy to schedule a quick call. So basically, if you head over to grottoinvest.com and you take a look at this page, you can basically just book a call with me by clicking the green button. Yeah. And that's the easiest thing to do for this one. It'll just take you right over to my calendar where you can book. So, all right. With that said, Jake, was there anything else that we wanted to cover here?
No, again, this is kind of high level, right? We went over the investment. We talked a little bit about what our expansion plans are. There's a full roadmap here for the expansion. Again, if anybody wants to speak with Andrew, you're welcome to do so. If someone wants to speak with me,
sure.
Again, welcome to do so. I'd love to talk with people about this. I'm very passionate about this. We can, and if you're about to invest, we can get up and I'll show you the site. It's probably covered in snow right now, but Yeah, I
did just speak with somebody. He's like, well, I'm going to have to get up there and take a look. I'm like, I totally understand that. You're going to see a snowy site.
Yeah.
but you're welcome to.
Yeah.
I guess the one thing you were alluding to earlier is, some of the things that I feel make our projections pretty conservative is one, going to that cap rate discussion. So any appraisal we've ever had done on the site used a cap rate of about 9.5%. And on our model, we've modeled it out at 11.5%, which those of you who understand cap rates have been watching the show. The higher the cap rate, the lower the price of the real estate. So basically, in our model, valuing what it'll be worth at the end, the numbers that went into calculating what we showed on the screen just there. Sorry, I'm not on that page anymore. That 20% per year, we feel was very conservative because I do feel that by today's standard, it did undervalue it. But I'm okay with that because I like the idea that we can over deliver. I love the opportunity to over deliver, and I think that that's built in. Because of that. The other thing is the amenities discussion. So we factored in about a 10% growth in sales for adding amenities. I realistically think it's way more than that. Yeah. But I think that was a conservative number we could all agree on, and know that there was room for us to do better. So with that said, of course, anything could happen. So I think it's just a nice thing that we have that buffer there. Yeah. And so that was what Jake was alluding to before. I think it doesn't hurt to say.
Yeah, no, and I think that's, at least when I'm having conversations with investors, it's a very important thing to say, right? Some people want to say, okay, well, what's my return? Great. But a lot of people are asking, well, what's the risk tolerance? Like how do we mitigate risk on this? And how do I make sure I'm getting my money back? Right. And it's all these things, right? And so that's the best way we can do it is say, listen, this is where it should appraise, sell, whatever we want to call it. But you know what? We're actually going to go, 4 points higher?
So we're
3, 4?
9 to 11. Yeah, I'd say we're 2 to 2.5 higher on our model. So knowing that, that's just a buffer, and it's good to have that buffer in there. Again, because no one knows what will happen in the future. So it's just a good thing to have. I had another thing I was going to mention here, but it's slipping my mind. Oh yeah, other mitigations. To your point earlier, just being one of the most affordable stays you could possibly have, just about anywhere. I mean, even getting a hotel room these days for $200 is challenging. Let alone a memorable Instagram-worthy stay.
Yeah, and I think we were even featured in a magazine or a news article recently that labeled us as it was like the top affordable glamping site in Ontario or something like that.
We have been called that. So, and that's just, again, one more thing. We'd absolutely love to increase our prices, and we intend to do that with an increase in value offered.
Yeah. Well, we're going to give the amenities, and then we're going to add the high-end product. Yeah. So we don't necessarily need to say, hey, the tents have to go to $500 a night. Yeah. Because we're actually going to bring in product that will be $500 a night.
Right. But naturally the tents can go up. Like picture it. If you've got a really nice pool and you've got some amenities on site and people are like, well, we were going to do 2, but I'd love to spend a day just on the site. So let's do 3. Well, now we've taken 1 day off the table for that season of available nights. Yeah. So effectively, and that's just one person making a booking. So effectively, that's increased demand for our nights. And when demand increases, price increases.
Yeah. So. And customer satisfaction, right? The more people we can have on site longer, that means the less traffic coming in and out of site, the less noise, the less turnover needed.
Yeah.
So it really does help smooth out operations. It helps customer satisfaction on the site, keeps wear and tear to a minimum. So increasing that nightly stay numbers helps us across the board in all aspects of this.
Less turnover is better. Obviously, we've got linens that, they only make it through so many turns. We've got staff, we're 7 full-time staff across the summer this year, which was down from the year before, and we're happy about that. But naturally that is going to have to grow. But if we can spread the turnovers out, then we might even be able to get away with 5 staff. So it allows us that flexibility so we could make more and reduce expenses at the same time.
Yeah.
Or, we may be able to add, an extra 20 sites and keep the same staff. So those are some of the things we could do with good systems, efficiencies, and then getting those stays to be longer. So anyways, for those who haven't seen it, I have it here. Our Airbnb profile. So here's another one of our tents. I just wanted to show this. So, when I mentioned the brand that's already there, we've already got that super host status, multiple years as being a host. And I don't know if it'll show our average ratings here, but this one I don't even know how this is a 5 out of 5. Our yurt in Miller Lake. I don't even know which one this is. Oh, Romantic. Sorry. Romantic. I think this is our best performing tent.
Yeah.
I still don't know how we're a perfect 5, but this is the one you take your sweetheart to. So,
and how many reviews does that have?
On 39.
39 reviews, and we're still a 5.
Now, granted, most of our bookings now happen directly. So, which is a huge benefit to us. We're happy about that. Obviously, we still want Airbnb to push us, but that's just we were getting word of mouth, repeat business, and then of course our Google reviews are pretty solid too.
50% organic or direct to site, I should say.
Yeah, we get a lot of direct to site, a lot coming from our marketing. So like when we do a promo or people coming from Instagram, they're going to go to grottogetaway.com because it's cheaper. Well, one, it's cheaper. 2, that's where we send people. So they see it and it'd be different if it was our first season. Like obviously our first season Airbnb was the way. But once you've established credibility and people know that you're not just some fly by night that popped up and will be gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
Then they feel comfortable doing that. They can look us up on Google, see the reviews and all that. And it gives them that certainty. So
yeah.
But if people want to check out more about our camp, obviously grottoinvest.com. I shared that URL. You can also check out like grottogetaway.com, which is the actual booking site for the moment. We're just updating that now, so bear with us.
You can go to our Instagram.
You can check out at the Grotto Getaway Glamp. If you want to check out our Instagram, see some of the promos we do. I firmly believe that that's like the mechanism to grow in this space is your social media. Like you have to show people the vision. You can't just, put your ad up on Airbnb and hope for the best. We have to show people just how cool it is. And I think that we've been really fortunate to have some great partners for,
we have,
like the Lost 2.
And I think it's something that we have a little bit of a leg up on the rest of the campgrounds in the area. Like most campgrounds are, mom and pop, older management, right? They don't have the social media. And even if they did, they're not really picturesque. Like, how do you take a seasonal trailer park and try to make it
it's hard
worthy, right?
Yeah, because like we'll have people come up and they'll film different stuff and they'll film themselves sitting in front of the fire and we give them a couple nights free stay. They give us a bunch of media and promote us, and then obviously usually we're paying them something. Sometimes they just do it for a stay, and we've been really fortunate with that. But these people will then share it with their followings, like Explore Ontario and such, where they got massive followings. And then we've seen it. It was most notable in the first season, like when Explore Ontario would share our giveaway. All of a sudden, our bookings, my phone just starts blowing up. You've got a new booking. You've got a new booking. Yeah. So we've seen it work in real time.
And then we also do traditional marketing, right? We do the
Google ads.
Yeah, Google ads. We have Facebook ads. We run Instagram ads, all the typical stuff as well, because we need to capture a broad market.
Yeah. But the biggest thing is having the quality experience, like something for them to come to that looks great. Once it's there, once we got the cedar hot tubs and the above ground pool and we show people using it, the bookings will just flow. I'm very confident. That's my projection, my prediction, and that's just based on what we've seen happen to date with the site. And then, of course, a little bit of good weather doesn't hurt either. You got a really nice spring, all of a sudden bookings start happening. Oh, yeah. So. Anyways, we thought we'd bring you guys into our world of being Glampground owners, and hopefully you enjoyed this. If it's something you're actually thinking for yourself, you might be interested in investing with us. Like I said, it's done through an exempt market dealer. Best thing to do is go to grottoinvest.com and then just click the button to book a call with me.
Yeah,
I'll include that link below as well, just for simplicity's sake. And we can go from there.
Yeah.
So,
and if anybody wants to see more content on the camp, on the investment, comment below.
Yeah.
Right. Comment in the feed.
Yeah. If there's something specific you're wondering about, for the site, we're happy to share it. And
because obviously we talk mostly about multifam and review of multifam. But again, if like short-term accommodation is something that we specialize in as well. And so if you guys want to see more like that, post. We'll get on it. We'll answer your questions and go from there.
It's still commercial real estate.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate this. We'll see you again next week.